Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Michaela Peters. I'm going to call this video Next Steps because I'm going to talk about what everything is looking like so far, navigating the uncertainty of losing my job. So, obviously, it's really hard at the beginning to not feel like this is some sort of moral failing and like I suck, and I already tell myself that on a daily basis because I'm very kind to myself, so it just impacted the further negative voices in my head. However, the next day, when I found out that I wasn't the only person who got laid off, and there were like a bunch of people, it really made me feel better. So there's a lot going on, and I'm going to break this down because for an international audience, it may not be clear what this process is going to look like if you reside in the US. So a lot of companies will give you severance, which means it is essentially pay for your years of service. And I do remember saying this, like, oh, well, if I get laid off, I'll just find a new job and I'll probably get severance. I mean, that's pretty common, especially when you have these RIFs, as they're called, reduction in force. So severance is one thing. I'm pretty fortunate that I'm still going to be like employed technically for 2 more months, but not doing work. So that's cool. All right, we'll go with that. Then it moves on to severance. Then the biggest thing that I was super upset about was like, why didn't I take all my FMLA at once? FMLA stands for Family Medical Leave Act. And in the US, we don't get a year off like in Europe. So you get roughly like 3 months off when you have a baby. I think for me, it's like 4 months. And essentially, I still have... Okay, I'm sorry. I'm like messaging recruiters and stuff now, and it looked like somebody was typing, and I was like... Okay, so... I think I had like 4 months. I still have 5 weeks left, and because New Jersey is a more generous state with like state programs, I will still be entitled to that because my baby is still under the age of 1, but I need to apply through the state. So right now I'm trying to figure out what the order of operations for that is going to look like, in order of when I can take my severance, if I can wait to take my severance, and if I can already go ahead and take the FMLA before I take the severance. And ultimately, once all these things run out and I still don't have a job, then that's when you file for unemployment. So that's what this process looks like. I don't know really what the solution is here. Obviously, it's a very destabilizing situation. Excuse me, can't speak English. You know, I like to plan everything out really far in advance, and this just really confirms to me that as much as you want to like plan things, you really can't plan things, which is why you should just have goals instead of plans, because goals don't, well, smart goals are time specific, but like goals don't have to be time specific. So this is all the stuff that's going on. Obviously, there's a whole healthcare component that makes things even more complicated. I had actually been researching not too long ago how I can save money in the US as a single parent and as somebody with a small child. That's how being a parent works, is you have a child. But like, it would be possible to take my child off of my health insurance and put her on a state plan, which she was originally on a state plan because I didn't add her to my health insurance in time. So you can do this thing called COBRA, which it stands for something really weird that I don't remember, and it doesn't even make sense what it stands for, but it's essentially continuation of your healthcare once you have separated from an employer. However, it is very expensive because you are still paying the same amount that you were paying before, but you have to pay for the premiums or something. Like, it's a more expensive healthcare plan than what you already had, but it's the same coverage. Or I can apply for a state plan, which is probably what I'm going to do. I try to avoid going to the doctors in general because even with insurance, it is still expensive. I'll probably get my baby back on the state plan, or just make sure that her state plan still exists because I never terminated it. However, I did not reapply for it. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but this is all the stuff that I'm going to have to be figuring out in the next few weeks. So that, and I will continue applying for jobs. I'm kind of really torn between wanting to hop on getting something immediately versus taking some time to myself to like spend with my child and finish getting my house in order. That's been a disaster still. But you know, it's just a lot to balance right now. I'm supposed to be trying to like get things off of my work computer and like, you know, do all this HR stuff and pause the 401k and all of these things. Like I have a checklist, but yeah, it's like what? So, I don't know, it's kind of everything that I really have to say today. Is just that there's a lot to do, and I was really upset on Tuesday, like really, really upset. And then on Wednesday, I already got together my resume and then was serial applying to jobs. And already by yesterday, I had a job interview lined up for this morning-ish. And so yesterday it was like 80 degrees, whatever that is. I made a video on the beach and I didn't post it yet. Maybe I'll do that later if I'm not lazy. But essentially, I was like, hey, when will I ever in my life again be able to just go to the beach in April on a random Thursday because I am unemployed? Hopefully never, but it's not like I know what the future holds. So I was like, I better take advantage of that, and I rewarded myself for getting a job interview. Anyway, I also have to take advantage of my health insurance while I still have it, and I'm going to go get new glasses. I only try to go to the eye doctor like once every 2 years because my vision doesn't change that much. So I'm gonna go do that soon. That's pretty much everything that I have. Still can't find my European wallet, which is really stressing me out, but that's a separate problem. I wonder if I'll ever find it. Okay, well anyway, I got things to do, so until next time, bye.